Good morning and welcome back to our series in the laws of leadership, part 5 of these laws. And this morning we will be discussing or looking briefly at the law of intuition and the law of magnetism. And as I've been saying all along in the series, these are tools I want to place in your hands as a leader to use to bring empowerment to your staff, your leaders, and your emerging leaders. It is something you can use. And I've also said that if you want me to come and to speak to your leaders, I'm willing to do this. Wherever you want us to be, I'll be there, and to help you to establish and to bring your leadership to a higher level. I am discussing very briefly each of these laws in 15 to maximum 20 minutes, which normally an hour session per law. So there are so much more that I can give to your team during your team building exercises or leadership empowerment sessions. But for this morning, I want to look at firstly at the law of intuition. Now, what is intuition? Intuition is the ability to understand something instinctively. You just know it. Without thinking, without reasoning, without digging for something, you just know that you know that you know. It shows an ability to discern the right answers for a specific problem. That is intuition. And not everybody possesses this ability, but it's a tool in your hands that you can learn and apply and discover this. The more you grow as a leader, the greater your level of intuition. Intuition is something that you possess, as I've said, without needing to reason to discover it, or a feeling that shows this ability. You just know what to do. And as you read more about leadership, as you lead through years of experience, you will be able to apply this law of intuition. Leaders are readers, number one. They are readers of their situation. They can understand, they look at a situation, they look at the chaos or the drama, and then they know what to do. And in my book that I've published a few weeks ago on derailed leadership, I look at all these different aspects of the laws and why we have failed as leaders during the COVID-19 global pandemic. So as a leader, you understand trends, things, patterns, habits. Everything in life has a cycle. There's a pattern to everything. You must be observant. Many years ago, I was a marketing director for a timeshare company, and I've made it my work, if you want to call it like this, to understand patterns. And before the timeshare market crashed, yes, it's still there, it's still operating, but there was a heyday, a trend, a season of phenomenal and uncanny sales. People made a lot of money. And as I've studied these trends, I identified a certain pattern, that there's a decline, a slow decline in attendance and in sales. And then I spoke to my marketing team, saying, guys, we need to find new ways of marketing, because this way we are doing now, in a short period, it will no longer work. And it happened exactly that way. And this is because you are reading the trends. And the same that happened with the global pandemic. There was a certain trend that we lived by, and there was a season of a lot of teachings. What the global pandemic caused us to understand is that we had a lot of theory, but our practical application of this didn't flow through to the grassroots level, so we were not prepared for the global pandemic. So, and as a leader, you are reading your resources. What are my resources that I have available? These are things that you just need to know. You need to do this on a constant basis. Don't wait for a chaos. Plan that when a chaos comes, you are ready. You read your people. When your people become agitated and itchy, you know they need a new challenge. Give them a new challenge. Give them something that they can live for and looking forward to. And then you read yourself that you will never go and fall into the trap of complacency. Complacency is a graveyard for leaders. So many leaders are great at this in a season, but they never make the transition because they do not read themselves. They do not read the times. They do not read the resources. They are just applying what has been working. But in this new season, we are living in a post-COVID-19 era. We cannot apply the same principles that we have applied prior COVID-19. We have to do things differently, because there's a new normal that needs to be embraced, and your staff needs to be trained in this new normal. But I don't want to discuss this too much on this platform this morning. Get hold of my book, and I explain more in my book about this. Now, what are the characteristics of an intuitive leader? They see differently. They look at things differently. And they provide corrections in the course. Because others are looking at the current, a leader looking the future. And because they look in the future, they are using their intuition to calibrate the practices, to change the way they are thinking. And if they change the way they are thinking, they are changing the way of doing. And because they are changing the way of doing, there's a new way of activating a certain season in their life. Another characteristic that I quickly want to touch on, they see globally. In other words, they are not narrow-minded, just in their own little corner, my own little business, my own little department. They look beyond the scopes of their paradigms, so that they will be able to identify certain patterns, certain habits in people's lives, that they can make a difference, and they are able to redirect the way we are doing things. Yes, they will have opposition, because the habit of people is don't shake my boat. We are happy with the status quo. And this is the average person. A leader is never happy with the status quo. They were always on the lookout for new things, new habits, new strategies, new products, new target groups. An intuitive leader see relationally. They realize nothing can be achieved without people following them. And this will link on to the next law I will discuss later this morning, the law of magnetism. So they provide a support base. They provide a platform for others to step up, to become part of the team, to become part of the vision group, to become part of the activation group, to become part of the marketing group. So they are constantly busy work on relationships with other people. They see clearly, they can provide structure. Because you look in the future, you do your research, you have the intuition, then you provide the structure. You provide the platform, the way of thinking, revising job descriptions, revising protocol, and working on all of these things to provide a new structure for a new normal. And this is why in this time we are living in currently, post-COVID-19, we are looking for intuitive leaders. Leaders that just know that they know this is the way forward, even though there might not be a manual. Remember, we are currently busy writing the leadership manual for the post-COVID-19 time. None of us has ever been through what we have just went through since 2019 since 2021. We have never been through this, and now we are picking up what has been left over, making changes, looking for direction, use your intuition and provide structure. So record what you are doing so that you can use this information in writing your own book on restructuring, reorganizing, reutilizing your resources that you have. And a intuitive leader see expectantly. They don't aimlessly look into the future and hope something will happen. They are looking into the future, expecting some answers for their current position, for their current struggles. And they provide confidence to the others that are following him. If a leader loses confidence, his whole team will lose confidence. And it will dwindle away. So work on these things. Look at these things. These are the characteristics we must embrace. So an intuitive leader, head start, they become the better leader. And if we're going to use a very practical example from the Bible, I'm going to use the life of Moses. He became a man of prayer. Yes, we can do research, but we must ask wisdom. God says, if you lack wisdom, pray. And through the times of prayer and intercession and looking and seeking for answers, the Bible is the most up-to-date manual for leaders, even for today's leaders. Everything we ought to know pertaining life is already recording in the Bible. Get hold of your Bible. And if I can suggest one, and I strongly suggest it, is get the Leadership Bible written by Dr. John Maxwell, where you, nearly every page of that Bible have got leadership principles, leadership philosophies, leadership ideas and strategies based upon that specific portion of Scripture. Become a reader of the Word. And in this whole transition, as an intuitive leader, people want to feel secure. So communicate effectively. Work on your communication skills. This is something that you can acquire. Yes, there are people that have got a natural gift of the gab. They are able to speak and it comes just naturally. But not all of us has that ability. But we all can learn or acquire the skill in public speaking. Become a good communicator. But a secret in good communications is, number one, know what you're talking about. In other words, do your research. Have your vision. Have your dream. Have your structure in place. Have the goals in place. Don't communicate what you haven't prepared. Because if you communicate that you haven't prepared and somebody asks you a question, you will hum and ha and people say, you don't know, like the rest of us. So have all these plans in place. I always say to my leadership team, a good leader never asks a question that he hasn't got the answer for. How is that possible? You have thought of it. You have researched it, you have included that in your structure. Now you ask questions to measure the temperature of the team, to measure their abilities, to understand where they are at, what they are seeing. So you are asking questions. In actual fact, you don't ask questions for understanding. You ask questions to provide a hook, to pull them with you into your future, to pull them with you into your destiny. So when you are an intuitive leader, you must know this. Know this. These are things you know. Lay out your vision. And after you've laid out the vision, you select your team. Remember last week we talked about teamwork, how to select a team, who to place in which place. And if you haven't watched the video of last week, go back on my Facebook page, watch the videos and empower yourself. And then the only thing that you need to do are the things that they can't do. Remember the following facts. I'm nearly done with the law of intuition because I need to move over to the law of magnetism. Remember intuition, who you are and what you see. Don't run after every new idea. Because on the internet there are so many things available, so many plans available, so many strategies available. But who are you? What is your niche? What are your skills? What is your cluster of gifts? Then you utilize what you've researched, apply it within your structure, and you run with this. So, an intuitive leader is a reader. You cannot become an effective leader if you are not a reader. We can't just rely on our gut feelings. We need to empower ourselves. A leader's intuition adds value to yourself, to the team, and to the organization. So your gut feeling, your intuition, is based on your past experience, past knowledge, present knowledge, and researched knowledge. That is intuition. It's not just a gut feeling. Many people are using intuition as an excuse for a lack of preparation. Your leadership intuition will increase through making use of these few things I've just given unto you as the law of intuition. Now, the second part of this morning, the law of magnetism. The law of magnetism is a leader that is pulling people towards them. Remember what I said in the previous lesson about intuition is to pull people, to provide hooks for people to pull, for people to hang on, to pull them into the future, to pull them into a new season, to pull them into the vision you have for this new season, rather than pushing them there. Pushing means I must step down from the platform of the future into the past and then try to push them into the present to understand the current chaos so that they understand the need to change. And then we must push them into the future. But if you are able to cast out hooks and they can hold on to it, that you use them like a winch, pulling them into the future without you stepping back from the future. Does it make sense? I hope so. All right. And then this pull leaders, if I can call them, give them a new name, a pull leader, attracts people to themselves, attracts people to the vision. They inspire their followers to grow. They inspire those that are leading to become dedicated, committed, and then they will produce results. And that is, in a nutshell, the law of magnetism. But let us step back a little bit from there. So what is the truth of attraction? Every leader, every one of us has a measure of magnetism. We can draw unto us the good, the bad, and the ugly, depending on your magnetism. depending on your magnetic field. Please, I'm not talking about aura and all these things. I'm talking about what is inside of you. That which is inside of you will draw others unto you. If you don't like the people that are surrounding you, change your magnetic field. A leader's magnetism may impact others in various ways. Intellectually, because of your knowledge, emotionally for who you are, or you can connect or draw them unto you through what you have done for others. You can draw them unto you for what you can provide for them, addressing their need. That is everything about magnetism. So magnetism is another tool in your toolbox. And this is now session number 5, week number 5, session number 10. And I've been talking about your leadership toolbox. Each of these laws is a tool in your toolbox. So magnetism is a powerful tool that adds value to your vision, adds resources to your destiny. It provides for you a group of people that will run with you because they are drawn unto you. When you have a magnet in your hand and there are pins on your table, and you pull the magnet across and on top of the pins, they all grab hold of the magnet. There are not two nails or needles that say, sorry, I don't want to go. They don't have an option because there is something in the magnet that draws them. We can go into a scientific part of it, but for the sake of this discussion, something inside of you shall draw people unto you, even if they don't know why. Just because you have prepared yourself to become a magnet for other leaders, strong, secure leaders, only they can attract other leaders that will complement them, that will expand the vision, that will enable them to reach the dream. A leader's magnetism can be developed, as everything in life can be developed. Yes, sometimes it's just easier, sometimes it's a little more difficult, but sometimes you have the natural ability, but all of us has the ability to develop every one of these laws. Just work at it. Set aside an hour a day to work at every law. Pick a law, an hour a day. Tomorrow another hour, another law. And so you continue until you have mastered that law in your life. So magnetic relationship, you and the people on your team will likely share common ground in the following areas. In vision, obviously, because we're a team. A team with more than one vision has a division. And wherever there's division, there's no unity. And if there's no unity, there will come a split, a break in the relationship. Expectations. We share the same expectations. We want to see the same results. So as a magnetic or an effective leader, make sure that your team understand the vision, understand the game you are playing, understand the rules, understand the playing field, understand the measuring tools we are using, understand what we are measuring. If we do not do this, we will raise a team to play soccer on a rugby field, and we will use tennis balls, and we will apply different laws, and we think that the one with the lowest score in golf, like in golf, is the winner. There's total confusion on your team. So make sure that your expectations and your values are the same. We are measuring the same things. We are measuring the same achievements. Let us all understand what we are about to achieve. A united team shares the same attitude. There's a chemistry that keeps them together. Not fire and oil, but they will come and gel together like salt. And you will not be able to separate the salt from this is my salt, this is your salt. Together we become one bag of salt, inseparable, united for a specific vision. We are sharing the same perspectives. We are sharing the same energy levels and the vision, commitment. And we are sharing the value of my contribution. Each team member will value the other team's contribution. There's no small contributions and big contributions. Everybody contributes something to the team. And you are valuable in that team. And as a leader, we need to make the team understand that they are important. So here's a few guidelines, and I'm closing with this for a magnetic leader. Know who you are. That's number one. It starts with you. Know who you are. Know your vision, your dream, and your passion. Live that. Don't export something to others that is not working in your own life. Discover the talents and the weaknesses you have. And become more like the people you want to attract to your team. This is the important one. Become like the people you want to attract to your team. So develop a strong sense of security that will help you to attract strong people because you are secure. And then intentionally recruit people who are different from you. I've seen this over many, many years. When you make a public announcement, who is interested in joining me for 1, 2, 3, 4? Less than 10% people will respond. You do this to make it publicly known, and then you hand pick people who you want to be on the team. And I've done that for many years. I've done missions trips into the northern parts of our country and across the borders of our country in the SADC countries. And then I make the announcement. Very few people respond. Then I approach, and I see some of the people watching me on this video. They were part of the missions teams as well. Then I approach them individually. Say, don't you want to come and join me? This will be beneficial to you. They've heard the announcement, but they have not really responded because they're thinking about it. But when you approach them personally, now suddenly it's not just something for somebody. It is a voice to me. And then they respond. And my success rate in recruiting team people for a specific assignment is more than 90% if you approach them directly. So in the law of magnetism, don't just use that gifting inside of you, that magnetic force that draws people. Don't just use that as a magic wand. Get to know people, recruit them, connect with them, and then pull them. Provide hooks for them to follow you wherever you go. I want to say thank you for watching these 2 sessions this morning. And next week, same time, I'm continuing. I'm going to post all of these videos on my YouTube channel as well. Please go to my YouTube channel, Hardes Pretorius, and follow me on that. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I've also started my own publishing Facebook page For you that know, I've been doing publishing work of authors. I've published more than 35 authors' works, over 3,000 or 4,000 books in the past 3 years. So if you have a dream to write a book, contact me, I will help you. And you shall be surprised how cheap it is. God bless you.